Hey guys, I just wanted to give some of my thoughts and opinions and talk about some of the points that I pulled from this book. Um, I just wanted to start about how I actually feel about the book. I really do enjoy this book. It it is kind of a sad book to just hear about her encounters and the things that, Harriet Jacobs has gone through in her past and everything that it took for her to finally get out of it. And I really do enjoy how fast paced the book is. There's no just long, drawn out chapters with just needless details, and it just really gets to the point of what the author, what Harriet Jacobs is trying to tell us. And I love that she addresses us just like Rosen did, and just that it makes it more personal. It really tied me in, and it really helped me feel as if she was talking to me, and she was trying to get this drilled into my head, this information across, and she was really trying to teach us about everything that she's been through, and I really did enjoy it. um some of the things I wanted to talk about were just the beginning. I really like how the book started off with her childhood, because it really shows that the innocence that she had, and for how long she didn't even know she was a slave. Um, just because her dad and treated them as if they were actually human beings, which slaves aren't treated like. And up until she was 6 years old, she didn't even know that she was a slave. And I really like that she put that in there, just to just kind of give us some background, and just to kind of keep us moving. Um, what I also liked was uh, I also really liked just how real it is. Like, this is real. Like, this really happened. It's not a made up fantasy. It's not something that, somebody just made up. Or what I really liked is it's somebody who's actually gone through what is being written about. It's not somebody who's heard stories about it and they're going to write about it. It's somebody who's actually, been through what they're talking about. Um, so a few points that I have are kind of what Professor Baker has for us to go off of. The first one that I have is, how some of the laws are unjust and, in my opinion, just immoral. And it's just kind of the North. Yeah, the North, they don't have slaves, they're free. But if you can know what's going on in the South and just, turn a blind eye, and you can willingly capture and return, a slave who's finally gotten away from their owner for money, you're just as bad as the people in the South. When you're just turning a blind eye, for money, and the fact that they're not allowed to help any of these slaves get away and to better themselves, you are just as bad as the slave owners. And I just really feel that that was horrible, and that was just a complete immoral thing for the North to do. Uh, Another point was, the religion and the Christian faith shown throughout the book. I have a couple points on that. My first one is how Linda's mistress later on in the book is teaching her God's word, and she teaches her the specific line, "Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Whatsoever ye would that men should do unto you, do ye even so unto them." Which is basically saying, do unto others as you want others to do unto you. That is just such a funny, ironic thing to have to have been given to a slave by an owner, because the owner is telling the slave, do to others as you'd want others to do to you. But I'm pretty sure that slave owner would not be wanted to be treated how she is treating her slaves. That mistress is not going to be wanted to be treated as she's been treating Linda. And so why would she be treating Linda that way? And that's just some of the things that I just kind of find ironic and just kind of like, what are you actually teaching? Because you're saying one thing, but you're actually going, like, you're literally going against God's word when you were teaching them that. Another thing that I just kind of found in this book was how the Bible a lot of the times represented like honesty for the slaves and integrity, and they could really, you know, put their full trust onto the Bible. And you can see that when Linda is being interrogated by her mistress, and the mistress, you know, hands her the Bible and tells her to lay her hand on it and to kiss it and to, you know, give an oath. And Linda can completely give that oath without even feeling bad about it. She completely has a clear conscience, and you can really see, like, you know, that honesty. They can completely rely on the Bible. Another one that I saw that was just kind of, I wouldn't say funny, it's just another point that I really saw the religion kind of fall between the cracks, because these slaves are treated as stupid, and Linda could read. She read the Bible. She knew what the Bible said. So there was no fooling her at all. And when Dr. Flint tried to coerce her into having sex with him by saying that's what was written in the Bible and the Bible said for that to happen, he told her, "You can do what I require, and if you are faithful to me, you will be as virtuous as my wife." And Linda tells him, I answered that the Bible didn't say so." His voice became hoarse with rage. "How dare you preach to me about your infernal Bible?" So she calls him out on the fact that he doesn't know what he's talking about, and that was never written in the Bible. And he gets mad because she knows what's actually in the Bible, and that she's using the Bible to basically fight back with what he claims is from the Bible. And I just thought that was crazy, the fact that he could even say, he could try and switch up the words and make things seem as they weren't, and it definitely did not go in his favor. The last few things that I have were the relationships that Linda formed throughout the book. You do see a few sad, you know, relationships come and go. You see, you know, the relationship with her mother, and her mother died, and then her mistress died, and then she talks about how her little friend dies, and she loses a lot of people. And as you can imagine, you would in slavery, you lose a lot. You lose a lot, and you gain very little from it. You gain nothing from slavery. We do read about Linda and her first love that she met, and how she was forbidden to see him because she was a slave. And that was just sad, because, you know, when you love somebody nowadays, you love somebody, you can be with them. You don't have to be forbidden from it. You don't have to, because you're a slave, you're less than them, you can't be with them. She had to tell him to leave and not look back, because he couldn't be pulled into that negative life that she's living. He couldn't be pulled into slavery. He's a free man. She wouldn't want to wish slavery on anybody. Going off of that, a sad thing that is said in the book was when Linda's son is dying, she's praying for her child. She's praying, you know, for her child to have life, and for him, you know, for her dying child to have life. But in the back of her mind, she's not happy when her son lives, because he's living in slavery. He's a slave. And she says in the book, "Death is better than slavery." She wouldn't wish slavery on anybody. And that just really stuck with me, because, to rather death over slavery. It's just something, that's completely horrible. And just reading this book, it just really gets to you. And after seeing the things that Linda, Harriet Jacobs went through, just seeing all the things, the rape, the beatings, just the way she was treated, looked on as stupid. She had to live in a space that she couldn't even fully stand up in, and watch her kids through a little hole and not get to see them. And then when, you know, and she has to watch them grow up, and she can't even interact with her kids. Like, you can only imagine, like, people nowadays could not even imagine, spending a weekend without their kids, let alone having to watch them grow up through a tiny hole and not getting to interact. Um, so far, this book is just really good, and I really enjoy it. And I really do enjoy how real life it is. And yeah, thanks.